prep. Ladies and shelves are emptying out, finding real strength, that's what it's about. No more prescriptions tying you down, with Shayna's help you'll wear the crown. What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. The strength deep inside. Shane and Melissa takes us on this ride, from suffering to a life so free. Her healing touch should set you free.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we have a very special episode. We're going to dive right into eye-opening truths all about medicine. Today's focus is going to be on the impacts of fads, facts, foreign DNA, limb lengthening, and so much more. For those of you that don't know me, I am Shayna Melissa Stockman, the autoimmune expert who empowers mostly ladies to get and feel better even when their meds and doctors didn't. And I offer online classes, courses, workshops, and private consultations. Oh my God, we have so much to talk about, the real truth about medicine. Where do we begin? Let's see. Oh, I know, a few days ago, I had a new client that was telling me about her autoimmune disorder. Now, check this out. Her doctor told her autoimmune disorders don't run in families, right? And then I said, wait, do you have a close family member with autoimmune disorder? Yes. Okay. So your doctor's not always right. But I want to get to the heart of her problem. And I noticed her autoimmune disorders started right after she had a ligament tear. So in taking further assessment, I said, wait a second, did you have surgery on your ligament? Yes. Was it from a cadaver, a dead person's ligament? Yeah, so her autoimmune disorder started right after she had a cadaver ligament. Think about it like this. You're given something foreign to your body. Your body realizes it's foreign and wants to attack it. You ever hear of somebody who had an organ transplant? They're on 15 to 20 anti-rejection meds. So their body doesn't fight the foreign genes, the foreign RNA or DNA. Same thing with these ligaments. Oh, here you go. It was on NBC News. These cadavers, there's a national organization that has very strict guidelines, but others don't. Now, these cadavers, the longer the person is deceased, the more the tissues are growing bacteria and fungus, and the FDA doesn't really tightly regulate them. So in this new client of mine, it actually stimulated autoimmune disorders that she had no symptoms prior to getting a cadaver ligament. So it's important, if you have a ligament tear, maybe try non-surgical routes first, like PT. And if you need a ligament repaired, use it from another part of your body, perhaps not the cadaver. It might just stimulate autoimmune disorders, like in those people that get organs donated to them. So this was very, very interesting that the guidelines aren't as strict as we think with the cadaver parts. And it just absolutely blew my mind that this national and international organization are trying to do the right thing, but there's other smaller companies that are cutting corners, and they're using parts that were way, way, way too long, not refrigerated, growing bacteria and fungus, and it's no good. So please be an advocate for yourself. Try not to get cadaver parts in you that it might stimulate an autoimmune. Know that also, even when we had, these requirements, they had put RNA and DNA in them, and they were foreign to you. So getting it inside of you, your body can realize this as a foreign substance and create antibodies against it. I've seen a huge uproar in autoimmune disorders ever since this, okay? So guys, I'm not saying I'm against them. Weigh the pros, the cons, and alternatives. Oh my God, we have so much more. I don't even know where to begin. Um, Organ recipients, oh, here we go. Here's another one. I was at this meeting to enlighten healthcare providers about this new drug that's out there. Now, check this out. This drug works. It's an infused biologic, okay? They're giving this drug to people with certain types of kidney stones that have uric acid around the calcium, and it's working on your biologics. A key to this drug is they give it to you with another drug like methotrexate to weaken your immune system so your body does not create antibodies against this medication. So it's important to know these newer medications on working on your RNA, your DNA, biologics. They might have foreign genes, RNA, or DNA from other people or other animals, and your body might fight it and start developing autoimmune disorders. So with this drug here, they administer it with methotrexate, and the methotrexate weakens your immune system so you don't build antibodies against this drug. Older drugs, we didn't worry about patients building antibodies against them, but these newer drugs are biologics. They're working on your biology, your genes. Oh my God. So please know the risks, the side effects, and ask your licensed healthcare provider if there's a healthier alternative. And you know what? A better alternative would be to prevent the stones in the first place so you wouldn't be needing this drug to break them up. So hydrate, maybe lay off the beer and the shellfish for a little bit. All right, what do we have up next? There's so much to this. Oh my God. So then there's other things too. Now, prescription drugs are one of the leading causes of death in this country, even if they're not misused. You're just given too many meds from too many different doctors. They're interacting. Patients aren't being made aware of all the risk, side effects, alternatives. Be aware. Speak with your pharmacist about risks, side effects, alternatives. Speak with your licensed healthcare provider. Ask them, hey, doc, before we try this medication, is there a healthier, more natural alternative for me? So prescription drugs is a third leading cause of death, especially in the US, only after heart disease and cancer. And a lot of these prescription deaths are not due to abuse. They're due to patients being on too many meds by too many doctors. They're interacting. And it's just said, my grandpa was a pharmacist and died of a lethal drug interaction. So please just don't resort to the prescriptions first. Try to see if there's something natural, healthier. Reach out to your doctor about that. I'm very passionate about trying to find healthier alternatives for you because prescription drugs are a leading cause of death. See, when I teach all about autoimmune disorders, even though that's also a leading cause of death, I don't jump right to the prescriptions because the prescriptions are another leading cause of death. And I can go on and on about this. In hindsight, over the past decades of my life, I realized prescription drugs almost killed me a few times. And if I wasn't a licensed healthcare professional, I'd probably be dead right now. Let's see, one time a hospital gave me compazine for nausea, my throat closed up. Another time, after one of my jaw reconstructions from my car accident, the hospital gave me too much pain medicine and Dilaudid, and I almost never woke up. And there was other times too. One time a doctor put me on an antibiotic for a UTI, and it caused something called rhabdomyolysis. Okay, rhabdomyolysis, it is where your muscles are breaking down, you're getting weak, you can barely walk, it's shutting your kidneys down, all for an antibiotic. So please, guys, we don't always have to resort to antibiotics first. We can try fluids, cranberry pills to flush that out. And there's so many other things that I want to share with you today, right here, right now. We're also going to go over, we're going to share Reclaim Your Life. This is a perfect opportunity, especially for my autoimmune warriors out there, my fellow nurses and nurse practitioners. You are worthy, you are deserving to treat yourself as well as you treat your staff and your patients. It's time for you to reclaim your life. There's hundreds of hours this month. Please take this one to join us for this Reclaim Your Life. live, interactive Zoom power hour from the comfort of your home, from the comfort of your couch. Just go to worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. It's absolutely free this month. I didn't want a price point to hold people back from discovering how to reclaim their life. So it's going to give you a lot more eye openings. Just go to worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. Mark your calendars for Thursday, March 27th, 7 p.m. The doors will soon be closing, so join us. These things are more fun when you do them with friends and family. They can be there to support you, so share the link, have them register as well for absolutely free. Let's move on to the next topic. Now, check this out. This one blew my mind. The big P companies, you know who they are, they hid this study. Now, sometimes there's natural things, plant-based adaptogens that work just as good, if not better than prescriptions. And this is an example. There is something called, there's different categories of medicines, right? Blood pressure pills, diabetes pills. There's a category called NRF2. And there's patients with MS that are on an NRF2 activator. The prescriptions run $50,000 to $60,000 a year. And there's more natural NRF2 activators out there. And this big pharma company was so scared about the natural one that was a lot cheaper that they actually did a head-to-head study. Their 50 to 60K prescription synthetic version, man-made version, versus this natural remedy that's maybe $60 a bottle. That's also an NRF2 activator. So this big pharma company, it was Tecfidero, or BG-12 is the name of the drug, the prescription NRF2 made by Biogen. So Biogen did this study, their synthetic 60K NRF2 or 50K NRF2 versus the natural one that's like $60 a bottle. And there's a couple others on the market. And their own study showed that this $60 bottle worked not only as effective than their $60,000 prescription drug, but was more effective and the most effective NRF2 activator out of all the ones that they studied. And then since then, they tried to take down this study everywhere, and it's hard to find. But imagine that a natural NRF2 activator, $60 a bottle, worked more potent than the $60,000 synthetic man-made NRF2 activator. So for this reason, I take the more natural one. It's not only cheaper, but it's more effective. Okay. So, watch what studies you see, take them with a grain of salt, look at who's creating the study, who's funding the study. Oh my God, these things go on and on. So yes, just to let you know, I was diagnosed with MS years ago, and I wanted to do things differently than the doctors because I noticed after my 30 plus years as a licensed healthcare provider, all the patients I saw with different autoimmune disorders, because MS is autoimmune, no matter which doctor they went to or which medication, the jobs of those meds was to suppress your immune system so it didn't fight itself. So all of those patients were more susceptible to contagious infectious diseases. They were sick more often with more severe symptoms and lasting longer. And then they were getting side effects and needing more medications to treat the side effects. So when I was diagnosed, I did not want that. I knew I had to do things differently to get different results. And I've since replicated it with lots of patients from around the world and created that workshop geared especially for my autoimmune warriors. And a 90-day program takes you through everything that you need about that. So I want to give you hope and inspiration, but also the needed tools. Hey, Elizabeth says, that's amazing. The other one has better results. Yes, and it's natural ingredients from what I call God's medicine cabinet. All right, what do we have up next here? Oh, now since the pandemic and there's been an increase in requirements for this, we've noticed a lot more people with heart problems, right? Ever since they had the code for protection. Now check this out. And you heard it first here, and there's a lot of other people that are going to copy me. You see, we have these little energy stations in our cells right there called the mitochondria. They're the powerhouses of the cells, and they're required for the cells to live. And out of all the organs in our body, the heart has the most number of these mitochondria. And I believe that's because the heart's always beating 24/7. It requires the most energy. So the heart has the most number of these energy stations because it's always beating 24/7. And the virus and the protection for it were targeting the mitochondria, going in there, replicating, destroying these mitochondria. And when the last mitochondria in the cell, in the heart cell, is destroyed, that cell has to die, leading to cell death. So, this is a big part of, I believe, why a lot of people that had this the past few years were getting cardiac arrhythmias, myocarditis, pericarditis, MIs, myocardial infarcts, mitochondria required for the cells to live. And this was affecting the mitochondria, most of them are in our heart. So please know the risks, the side effects, the alternatives. Years ago, we used to call this a vax for a reason, because it prevented diseases. And we know the newer ones, they changed the definition. This is not even called preventing a disease anymore. It's called bettering your odds of staying healthier longer. And it didn't really do that. So I'm not opposed to them. Know which ones you should get, which ones you shouldn't get. And let's move on. What do we have next? We're going to go over, some fads. Time is going so quick. There's foreign DNA in this, foreign RNA, foreign DNA, and that's why it's stimulating a lot of autoimmune disorders, a lot of mitochondrial malfunctions, cardiac anomalies. Let's go over fads. We're also going to talk about limb lengthening surgery as well. And increased GLP-1. Yeah, let's talk about this. This is another one really cool. Now, they have all these injections now for weight loss, right? They're called GLP-1 hormones. So they're giving you a synthetic, either a man-made hormone or from God knows what animal or what person. And they're injecting it into you to help you lose weight. So these hormones, GLP-1 injectables, I don't like at all. A lot of the people, now the oral natural one, that one I like, but the injectable ones I don't, because most of those patients were losing muscle mass. Now, when you lose muscle mass, you're weaker, you're not as strong. When you lose muscle mass, your metabolism's slower, so you're burning the calories slower, and you're gaining back the weight plus. And then you're becoming more dependent to stay on this to keep the weight down. So there's something now, there's a natural oral GLP-1 activator. So instead of giving you an injection that you don't need with God knows what's in it, or synthetic hormones or hormones from another person or another mammal, this oral one now, this one I recommend, is actually giving you natural ingredients that when you take them, activate your own body so you produce more of your own endogenous GLP-1. So you're not given a synthetic GLP-1, and you're not given a GLP-1 hormone from God knows who else. What else? You're given the natural ingredients to boost your own endogenous GLP-1 that you make within your body. So the only one I recommend is a specific oral one with natural ingredients. It's not giving you the hormone. It's giving you ingredients so you can make your own hormone. Endogenous is always better. Anything your body makes within. What else do we have coming up? We're going to talk about the limb lengthening, perhaps. Oh, yeah, check this out. When I was little, I was so much shorter from the little girl across the street from me that was 3 years younger. So I used to say to my grandma and my brother, I had this theory. If I laid in bed every night, they stretched me, and one pulled my arms and one pulled my legs, maybe I can gain a couple inches. I don't know. Maybe it gave me a quarter inch. Maybe not. But now they have this limb lengthening surgeries. I'm not opposed for it. If you have one leg shorter than the other and you need to gain an inch or two so you're not getting back problems, hip problems, and knee problems. But there's a lot of young people and a lot of pro bodybuilders now that are doing this. And they're talking about gaining 6 to 7 inches. And maybe if we can pull that picture up one more time, this is blowing my mind. I don't think if now these are young men like bodybuilder, this guy here, he's hoping to gain 6 to 7 inches. He's having rods put in, surgically implanted in both legs, where he has to turn a little screw to lengthen himself throughout an entire year before the rods are moved. And then he has to take it easy while that new bone thickens so it doesn't break. And we're talking about people doing this to gain self-esteem. We're going to see a lot of 20-year-olds in the future that have these really long limbs and these short little bodies, because it's only lengthening their legs. And that bone is going to be so much more brittle and thin until eventually things heal. But I don't think it's ever going to be as good as the new bone. Look at that man right there. How much height he gained just for vanity. So I'm okay with the person that needs one leg lengthened to be balanced. But these youngins in their 20s just trying to gain height so they have more self-esteem, I don't think it's going to help them, because then they're going to realize their legs are so long and their body's short in proportion. So I think we need to retrain our brain. Um, this is crazy, but you know what? Surgeons are willing to do this because somebody's willing to pay for it. I can't do that. Even with these injectable GLP-1s, I declined my cash paying patients that wanted me to prescribe this for them. And I could have made a fortune doing it, but I wouldn't do it. There's so much more I want to talk about. We have chemicals and even the fluoride, right? I don't know if you guys realize this. Fluoride used to be having to be disposed of as a toxic waste, okay? A toxic waste. And now they're sticking it in your kids' vitamins, your toothpaste, and your drinking water. And fluoride ties to a lot of heavy metals. So it's not just fluoride. We know aluminum, barium, they're not good for us. When you go for CAT scans and MRIs, you're given, injected, or ingesting heavy metals. You get a barium swallow test, right? That's a CAT scan where you're drinking barium. These things accumulate. We can't rapidly get rid of them out of our body. So please don't go for unnecessary testing. See, is it important? You know, we're getting so many CAT scans, MRIs, we're getting radiation from x-rays, and even our annual mammos, although it's low in Europe, they only get mammos every 2 to 3 years because it is additional radiation. So speak with your licensed healthcare provider about what's good for you. I was just speaking with join our reclaim. Yes, I'm going to get back to that as well. If you haven't already, joined our upcoming workshop, mark your calendar, March 27th, 7 p.m. EST. Go to worldwellnessexpert.com. Join our fun, live, interactive power hour. It's going to be on Zoom, so only those registered will have access. Again, worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. You're not sure you can make it, you can level up to VIP, get the replay access, digital and printable blueprints with the notes, and a mini consultation with myself. So with the fluoride, I get fluoride-free toothpaste. I distill my water to filter out all the fluoride, because the water filter in your refrigerator is not enough. It often has molds and other things. Then even nickel, right? You go for joint replacements, people don't realize it. They're getting titanium. It's not pure titanium. Nothing's pure anymore. They throw a few percent nickel in there. It's cheaper for them. And there's people that are getting joint replacements that are allergic to nickel, and the surgeon's putting titanium in them thinking it doesn't have nickel. And it does. So if you have a nickel allergy, please discuss with your surgeon if you're getting a joint replacement. You know, I almost had a surgeon for my jaw go to put titanium in my jaw after my car accident. And I'm like, Doc, with all due respect, you know, earrings sometimes has nickel in them and makes my ears red. I don't want a joint put inside my body. And he's like, well, it's only a few percent nickel. I'm like, Doc, you're kind of taking out a joint that kind of works, and you're putting in something I'm allergic to highly inside my body. So guys, you have to advocate for myself. I had to push him to find the ingredients, find the manufacturer, make sure there was no nickel in it. The titanium often has nickel in it. So please, please, please. Yes, that is crazy. If you guys are on YouTube, click that subscribe button. If you're not, follow for more. Um, so many other things I want to say. Oh, I was speaking with a nephrologist a few days ago, and he was saying that the sodium is like killing the kidneys. Well, what do? We put sodium in almost everything, right? But then the heart doctor might tell you, lay off your salt for your blood pressure, right? But if you go to the ER with high blood pressure, what do? They give you a salt water IV bag, right? So sometimes the things that modern medicine doesn't make sense, and you might not realize it. I feel like I'm the Chef Gordon Ramsay of medicine, right? You might go to a restaurant and think, well, this is a good restaurant, but you don't know what's done behind the scenes, right? And Chef Gordon Ramsay knows how the food's supposed to be cooked. So I feel like I'm Chef Ramsay of the medical centers and I know what's supposed to be done and what's actually done. And they're often two different things. Oh, check this death out. This is an interesting chart. It's showing the death rates of motor vehicle accidents and drug overdoses. And these are unintentional drug overdoses. These are not people just shooting up. These could be somebody taking the medications as prescribed. And if you look from 2020 to just 2010, motor vehicle accident rates were going down a little bit, over the years, over the past 10 years. But yet, unintentional drug overdoses keeps climbing year after year after year. And now there is more unintentional drug overdoses than there are motor vehicle accidents. So please, guys, please, please, please don't jump to the drugs. We don't often need them. I hope this is waking up your eyes. I'm not opposed to them, but I'm opposed to prevention is key. There's these cholesterol drugs now, these statins, they're causing early Alzheimer's. And there's with your cholesterol, your LDL, your bad cholesterol, there's small particle sizes that are really bad for you, and there's large particle sizes. And check this out. With those statin drugs, they might lower your cholesterol, but they're only lowering the large LDLs. And that's not the one that causes heart disease. It's the small ones. So they're lowering your number, but of the wrong type of LDL that's not clogging your arteries and not causing atherosclerosis. Isn't that insane? And then the statins deplete your CoQ10. So if you're on them, you should be on CoQ10 as well. You should ask the doctor to check the particle sizes of your LDL, your cholesterol, to see if it's affecting the small LDL. That's the one you want to impact. And you know how we can impact that? Check this out. Over the past decades, whenever I gave someone a diabetic diet, a diabetic person, to watch their refined sugars, processed foods, not only did their sugars get better, their cholesterol did too. So you know what? Eat your eggs, lay off the bagels, the cereals, the pancakes, the processed sugar, and your small LDLs are going to drop. Okay. So I hope that helps you. There's eat fish with the good omegas, the omegas 3s and 7s. We get too much omega 6 already. What else can I tell you? There's a lot of energy drinks out there that are no good for you. I take one that has methylated B vitamins because a lot of times we have low energy because we're not getting enough B12 and B6 from the foods we're eating. And B12 and B6 are very important. And even when we do, a lot of us have a problem methylating the B vitamins where we can't really metabolize them and absorb them. So I use a healthy, energizing drink with methylated B vitamins. I'm always willing to share with you guys. Ever want to know what I take? I've switched a lot of patients, including myself, from coffee to healthy energy drinks with methylated Bs. And you know what? Our acid reflux went away. We didn't need stomach acid pills and scopes anymore. We have better vocal cords, better sounding voices, and more energy without highs, lows, and crashes. How cool is that? So guys, wherever you're dropping in, tuning in from, drop us down below. Hit that subscribe button, follow us, drop down below where you're tuning in from, if it's live or replay. There's so much more here, but I think we're just about out of time. I don't want to take you guys up too much more time. One more last thing I want to talk about, because this is very near and dear to my heart. I recently had two clients, both since the pandemic, that had came to me after they discovered they had rapidly growing cancers, metastatic cancers, at an advanced stage that seemed to be turbo cancers. Okay. Now, out of the two clients, one decided to do the alternatives that I do, activating genes and genetic highways, in addition to the traditional treatment, and got amazing results. I'm not saying do what I say instead of traditional treatments. I'm saying when you have cancer, you have to get all your worries out together. Sometimes using them both together is best. And I had another client that, and her doctors didn't even tell her to lay off sugar that we know feeds cancer. But I had another one that similar cancer spread, meds, decided I'm just going to listen to my doctors. They don't want me on anything else during the the chemo and the radiation. And she's not doing well at all. And you have to advocate for yourselves. Her doctors don't know, they're not taught in medical school how to activate genes and genetic highways and do cutting edge science. So please do your own research, advocate for yourself, speak up, because the doctors don't always know best. They go to medical school to practice medicine. Sometimes they're not keeping up on the latest and greatest treatments. It's okay if your doctor has 30 years experience, but he might not be up to par. So I call it integrative what I do. I can integrate in healthier alternatives with your traditional treatments. It doesn't have to be one or the other, right? Say you like chocolate ice cream and you like vanilla. Why not have both? Why do you have to pick? So it's important to know that I can integrate in healthier options with your existing treatments. And a lot of times I can replace that with natural alternatives. So it doesn't have to be either or. It could be both. It could be either or. I can do the alternatives and tape you off the regular. I wanted to leave you with that, and be your own advocate. Try not to take foreign RNA and DNA from other people. They've already experimented and putting the mRNA in lettuce and tomatoes successfully, and a lot of states do not have a law requiring them to disclose it to you because it was never thought of before. So just know that. And now in with the flu protection, they're going to put the mRNA as well and mix some DNA in there. So be your own advocate. Know which ones you need, which ones you don't need. Look for healthier alternatives. Try to stay away from people that are hacking. If you're sick, stay home. That's all I got to say. Again, I want you guys to join me for the Reclaim Your Life Super Workshop at worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. I geared it for my autoimmune warriors, those people that are suffering with symptoms. A lot of times you guys are suffering with symptoms and you don't realize it's an autoimmune disorder. And I'll give you some of the symptoms that I had that a lot of people have. Tired. You're waking up tired. You're in more pain than you should be for your age. Your hair is thinning. You're not eating too bad. You're trying to stay active, but you can't drop weight. You're even gaining weight. A lot of these are underlying autoimmune disorders that just haven't been diagnosed yet. You're chalking it up to, I'm getting older. This is what old age is supposed to be. But they're not. Those are warning signs, like the warning signs in your car, right? Your little oil light goes on. You address it right away. You put oil in your car, and you didn't need an expensive whole engine overhaul, right? So listen to these warning signs. These symptoms are warning signs in your body that if you ignore them, it's going to be a much bigger and expensive problem. So do not ignore your warning signs. They're not just signs of getting older. How many people that you see are in their 80s and dancing around like nothing, right? So we know these are not just signs of getting older. You're not just working too much. There's something going on. We have to address the underlying root cause. Even if your doctor told you your tests are normal, that means a lot of times these symptoms show up years before you get an accurate diagnosis. They have to order the right test at the right time, and it has to be big enough, right? If you have a little bit of cancer, a mammo might miss it. But when the problem is big enough, you can feel it, right? So your symptoms show sometimes years before the test tell. So I encourage you, for more eye openers, go to Reclaim Your Life. Join our free this month workshop from the comfort of your couch. Mark your calendars. Thursday, March 27th, 7 p.m. EST. Just go to worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. Submit your email. You'll get the Zoom link and passcode. This is only going to be on Zoom. So if you're not registered, you're not going to have access to it. Please, if you're not suffering from autoimmune, but you know people that are in pain, exhaustion, weird symptoms, they're not getting better and feeling better on their meds, encourage them. Copy this link down, worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. Have them join for absolutely free. Have them gain a couple gold nuggets. I wish when I had my autoimmune, someone did this for me. So I hope this helps you guys. Thanks for letting me ramble. Until next time, stay tuned, be well, biohack, and hope to see you at the Reclaim Your Life, worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim.
Finding the strength deep inside. Shayna Melissa takes us on this ride from suffering to a life.